Kevin Williams with the Shore Sports Network. You know, since we began a few years ago, one of our great partners from day one, Atlantic Physical Therapy Center, a facility, a place that has grown tremendously in the time we've been along to now one of the biggest in all of New Jersey. They have 15 locations, most of them in the Ocean Monmouth County area, but expanding throughout. We thought we'd take it to one of their newest facilities in Brick because two guys I've known since they were little kids happen to be the co-directors here. Shane Capone on my left, Chris McIntosh on the right. They just opened here in Brick a couple of months ago, and they're going to sort of take us on a little tour of what are their new facilities and some of the things that are different here from their other locations. So guys.
Okay, so you know, we're starting off, we walk in right here. This is a waiting room that we put a lot of emphasis on to make it nice and welcoming as you come in. We have a little coffee bar, a little fridge that patients can grab some drinks out of, Gatorade, water, whatnot. And then that brings us right into the treatment area.
You know, now guys, for those that have no idea, fill me in. Somebody comes here because why?
Usually because they're injured, whether it be because they're coming from a doctor or just because they have some pain and they want to come in via direct access, which requires nothing. It's to get better. You know, it's because they have pain somewhere.
And one of the great misconceptions is people think they have to go to a doctor first and get a prescription. Yeah. That's not the case.
No, not anymore. They changed the program to a doctorate program. That allowed us to basically try to get some red flag signs. If someone comes in with pain in their back and we think it's like a kidney stone, we could say, look, you got to go see a doctor. It's not your back. It might be something different. So that's the difference between direct access and the prescription.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really opened up physical therapy access to people. It allows us to be more like the gatekeepers instead of needing to see that physician first and paying for a visit and having to get a referral. You can come right to us and we can really direct you from here.
Much more proactive than reactive, right? Yeah.
So this is the treatment area. So you walk in, you come in here. If you're doing an evaluation, we usually grab a table. You'll one-on-one for about 45 minutes with me or Chris. We'll take you through an evaluation based on your pain and your body part. We'll send you home that first day with exercises to take home. And then pretty much the next, at least usually about 4 weeks, is spent in this front area here. And this is where myself, Chris, and we have an aide, Alyssa, who's actually an athletic trainer as well. We all kind of work together and collaborate in this space here.
Obviously the treatment is different based on the kind of injury, but are there common things in terms of rehab or the things you would do, or some of them almost the same for most of the injuries or illnesses?
It varies. It's always based on the individual and what they present to us. You know, everybody's a different case, so we want to be able to tailor to their needs and really make the program and the outcome specific to what they want and what they desire. The neat thing about our location is Shane and I had a hand in designing the layout here, so we were able to make it nice and open, as you guys see, and it really gives us a lot of freedom to do what we want with patients.
Yeah, let me mention, you guys are new here, but you are certainly not new with Atlantic Physical Therapy. You ran the facility in Lacey for many years before making the move here.
Well, no, I was a staff PT in Lacey.
Okay.
I worked with a woman named Tracy who was really good to work under. And then Chris was a staff PT in Freehold, so we made the transition to being co-directors at this facility.
So you've used what you've learned in your other locations to transform it into what you almost think is the ideal facility.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
We both came from a great opportunity to learn from some of the veteran physical therapists that are in this company, and really gave us a jump start into knowing what we had to do and what to expect in order to kind of get our own location up and running.
So we could head towards the back. So it's kind of, we flowed it, tried to make it flow very well in terms of as you go back, it kind of gets more progressive in what our goal was. So you could see in the back, we start getting more into the racks, and it's stuff that we do use throughout the day, even in the PT treatment, but it's more geared towards the athletic side and the performance side.
Yeah, I mean, up till this point, it looks like one of the other facilities, but when I look back here, I look like I'm at a gym.
Yeah, it's exactly what our goal was.
Like Shane was saying, we have kind of had this desire to combine the two aspects of kind of physical training and a little bit more advanced exercise work with your standard physical therapy. And this office enables us to do that.
So one of the things obviously is somebody may be done with their regular, let's say, rehab prescription or assignment, and you have the opportunity now with what you've done here is to keep them in this facility longer if they so choose and continue that rehab and hopefully more of a preventative type thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So this whole idea came from when people were done with physical therapy. We were seeing returning patients over and over, and a lot of times the same injury. So we were saying, look, there's something not being done. And a lot of times we would say, well, what did you do after you were done? Well, I went home and I wanted to join the gym, but I never did, and I wanted to do the exercises, but I couldn't get to them, and life got in the way. And so Chris and I said, well, what if we fill in that blank and bridge that gap where people can come in and continue with us? And even though it's not through insurance, I mean, it's a cash pay, kind of gym scenario, but at least gives them the opportunity to work with me or Chris. Are always in the building, even when they're exercising, and they're always supervised.
And I guess one of the nice things too is it's not an intimidating environment. Not everyone wants to jump in a gym. Now they get comfortable here on an appointment basis, and being here with a handful of people. They don't want to jump into the big gym scene. They're comfortable here.
That's absolutely right. I think what Shane was saying is one of the biggest things with people is there's a real hesitancy to go back to independent exercise when they finish physical therapy, simply because of fear of doing something wrong. So this kind of opens up our access to these people that may be graduating from your standard physical therapy and want to get into more advanced exercises, and we can kind of guide them through that, making sure they're doing things correctly, taking them a little bit further before we release them to independent exercise.
As we take a look around, there's more than just weights here, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So obviously we have the standard weight set that allows us to do a lot of the Olympic lifting, back squat, front squat, deadlift, stuff like that. We have pull-up bars with the TRX bands that we use a lot for training, and then Chris and I are big fans of all we need is space, and we don't need much equipment. Use your body, use some weights. We love kettlebells, we love like medicine balls, and no machines, everything free weight, and as functional and as relatable to real life as you can be.
You are both relatively young guys, well, at least compared to me, but then again, anyone is. But even in your time, you've seen such dramatic changes in the whole, physical therapy. Where's it going? Like, what's the future here?
Yeah, I think, we want it to be pretty progressive with it, and like you're saying, I think there's a real need for that transition between your typical physical therapy and also into the more advanced exercise and sports training. And Shane and I didn't really see a reason to separate the two, so I think the combination is what's going to be coming forward. Obviously, there's insurance-based payments are up in the air, so we need to be able to offer people what they want, and people who want to pay cash for a service or pay out of pocket for a service that maybe they can't get in another location. They have medical guidance from Shane and I with our doctorates, and it's just a new experience for people, and I think that's where it's going to go.
Took you a while to get here, but you have to be really excited, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It was a great opportunity, like Chris said. It's an idea that we've had since before we even went to PT school. When we were aides with the company, we would envision this and say, this is the future. Like, the future is not just a typical office visit and you get on the table, you get stretched a little bit, and then you leave. The future is not only are you fixing what they came in for, but Chris and I always say, like, we want to make you better than you were before you got hurt, because then that leads you to not needing us anymore.
Well, the newest location, one of the newest locations in the company, is right here in the Laurel Square Shopping Center in Brick. Those familiar with the Kmart Shopping Center certainly know what it is. Your hours, you're open what?
Pretty much 3 nights a week, so we're open Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday till 8 o'clock, and then Tuesday and Friday we're open in the morning. We do about a half day in the morning.
And of course, you can always check out AtlanticPTCenter.com, the website with everything you need to know for this and all the other locations in New Jersey. Chris, Shane, thanks for a little bit of a tour. Good luck here, guys.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.